This program is sponsored in part by Septum Up, It's Cool and Refreshing, the Faith A. Shawneck Foundation, deducing didactic dialogues daily, and from contributions to your CBC station from viewers like you. Thank you.
It's... Good evening. I'm Dr. Edmund Everly Edwardson VI. Tonight we will explore episode 13 of our 27-part series, Liberty, the colonial struggle to find independence from a somewhat harsh and unruly King George III and his mob of a parliament. We last left the colonial army in Valley Forge, freezing their tails off in a snow-covered field just northwest of Philadelphia. Though it may seem like General Washington was making a mistake, he had strategically placed his troops in an area which kept the British in an uncomfortable situation and forced them to constantly watch their backs. The colonial troops suffered 2,000 losses from sickness and cold, but soon the winter of 1777 turned into the spring of 1778, and the hardy Americans buried their friends and moved on. After this depressing winter, George Washington and his colonial troops found hope in a promising alliance with the French. France was interested in the colonist cause. Having been defeated by Britain in the French and Indian War, France hardly wanted England to win. And so in 1774, it sent emissaries to America. Their job was to investigate how serious this revolt truly was. The colonists were, in fact, quite serious, and so a French-American relationship began. Benjamin Franklin visited France. In time, Congress arranged for the purchase of French weapons, and by 1778, a formal alliance was signed. This treaty, the Treaty of Alliance, required that neither France nor the United States would agree to a separate peace with Great Britain, and that American independence must be a condition of any future peace agreement. Following the Battle of Saratoga, the turning point of the Revolution, Britain suddenly offered peace to the colonists. Vergennes, the French foreign minister, stepped in to prevent this from happening. Two French-American treaties were created as a result, the Treaty of Amity and Commerce and the Conditional and Defensive Alliance. The Treaty of Amity and Commerce simply allowed trade and commerce between the two countries. The Conditional and Defensive Alliance stated that neither country would agree to peace with Britain without the other's consent. Peace wasn't coming anytime soon, however, and Britain was having problems of its own.
Clinton replaced General Howe primarily because of his defeat at Saratoga. But my real thought is that he never really quite got over the fact that he didn't like the British red coats. It was sort of a fashion guru, and he didn't like that. And besides which, when the colonists were shooting at them behind rocks and trees, he sort of objected to the fact that he was still having to march in straight lines. And that's pretty much it.
On March 21st, 1778, Henry Clinton replaced General William Howe as commander-in-chief. In the summer of 1777, Howe had advanced from New York toward Philadelphia. He took his troops up the Chesapeake Bay by ship, when he might have saved a month by using the Delaware instead. Next, he attacked Philadelphia itself. This was the next move in a plan concerning General John Burgoyne and Howe himself. They were in a joint operation. Burgoyne would take New York, while Howe would capture Philadelphia. In taking such important colonial cities, the men expected to crush the revolt. However, Burgoyne's crippling defeat at Saratoga wrecked the plan. Howe had held up his half. He captured Philadelphia, but Burgoyne failed. When Howe received only a fraction of the reinforcements he'd requested, he felt he'd lost the king's confidence. In November 1777, he sought relief from his position, and in May 1778 was replaced by Sir Henry Clinton, who had been his former second-in-command. Howe left America and returned to England. In the meantime, however, an important figure was just stepping onto American soil.
Friedrich Wilhelm Gerard Augustin von Steuben
Served in the Prussian army for several years, performing duties as a staff officer during the 7 Years' War. He rose in rank and soon came to serve at the headquarters of
Friedrich
the Great. In 1764,
von Steuben
was appointed as the chamberlain to the court of
Hohenzollern-Hechingen
where he adopted the bogus title of baron. 13 years later,
von Steuben
traveled to Paris. There he met with the American Foreign Commissioner Benjamin Franklin and Silas Deane to offer his military services. The Continental was soon impressed with von Steuben and promptly sent him to help General George Washington at Valley Forge. Although von Steuben spoke no English, his systematic, rigorous training prepared the Continental troops in a way that they could not have done on their own.
Hey, again, look at them there gooses. I bet I can hit them. I know, I bet you can. Go! Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah!
Due to the language barrier in the training, von Steuben had Captain Benjamin Wagner, his French aide, swear at the recruits for him in English.
Die nun selbst allein!
You stupid pig wrapped up in a blanket with your sourdough!
The soldiers who had been training in rather basic clothing were now trained in full uniform.
Von Steuben.
Introduced systematized training techniques, as well as discipline and sanitation. His influence ultimately saved the colonists from losing at the Battle of Monmouth.
Baron von Steuben was a very interesting man, and if you haven't heard about him, well, you should. He was very beneficial to the American soldiers, considering he created a style of fighting that was mixed between European and American style. He didn't speak much English, but he knew how to curse, and he also knew how to order them. Fred, 1, 2. Don't make me get to 3, Fred. Fred, 1, 2. What was I saying?
You were talking about von Steuben.
Steuben. Yeah, he was very beneficial to the American cause, and thanks to him, he helped to win the war.